Kevin has a reputation in the program as something of a loner, not big on group participation. So when he takes up that challenge to trust his fellow JamCanners, it's something of a personal victory.
Group hug. Recreation team. This is new for.
Can we get it? Happy birthday, dear Liza. Happy birthday to you. Yay!
My job placement is at the interfaith home for senior citizens. So I'm just like a friend to the residents. I just generally help them out to do things that they normally could do if they were strong enough, but now they can't do anymore. But it's fun. Most of the time it's fun. It's not the perfect placement for me, but I find that now that I'm there are things there that I can learn and probably bring back to Jamaica.
Economy all we have.
They are our daughters.
Tracey Clements and her Jamaican counterpart, Kerry Ann McFarlane, move in with Fran and Paul Childs in Stephenville, Newfoundland. The Childs face their own particular challenge with the two girls.
Getting them off the mattress. It's a joke. It's a joke. I always tell them they spend too much time on the mattress, but it's a joke.
Okay. Now, what I've heard is that having a counterpart is about the biggest challenge of the whole kind of relief program. What do you think of that?
Go ahead. In some ways. For some people, anyway. But I think for us, it's the best thing in the program. For Tracey and I, if I must speak for both of us. Because we haven't had any quarrels. We are just living happily, just like two sisters, going on just fine. What do you have to say?
I say the same thing, that it depends on depends on yourself, and it depends on your counterpart. Some people we've heard are having a hard time, but we've been together since camp, so it's been a month, and we're used to each other, so we don't have any problems. It's the easiest.
Yeah.
I think it's the easiest. Yeah. The hardest is work.
Work placement.
Work placement's the hardest, but other than that, counterpart's great.
I didn't want to do nothing like this.
Why, what did you want to do?
I don't know, work with people.
The problem is they're supposed to help other young people who have learning problems, but school hasn't started yet, so there's only community work to do.
We do a lot of community work. Last Saturday or 2 Saturdays ago, we fixed up a park. We cleaned it up and painted and dug up all the weeds and built new little pathways. It was really cool. It took all day. It was tiring, but it was worth it in the end. So we do a lot of things like that, and I enjoy it. What do we possibly...
Once most of the summer is over and school starts at the Pathfinder Learning Center, Tracey's work is a bit more challenging.
A walnut and a steak bone are examples of an edible. So what do you have to do, read this and answer the question?
Yeah. I have any questions to answer.
Well, I can help you. Well, do you know what processing food is?
Is a modification done by food between the time it is harvested and the time that it is consumed.
So you have to find a food that is not gone through the change that has been harvested.
Which would be meat, like cow.
Kevin, meanwhile, is on kitchen duty with his counterpart, Patrick. Patrick teases him about the phone calls he gets from local girls.
Because he's talking about the phone calls, but I guess it happens to all of us, and that is because we're different and we're new, and people just want to meet us and I guess be friends. So a lot of people who want to be friends call our house and say, you know, would you like to go for a walk, or would you like to go do something? So it's not a girlfriend, it's just Friends.
Okay, so what's your definition of friend?
Mine, watch it play. Come.
What's the difference between a friend, a girlfriend? The difference between like and love for Jamaicans? It's not the same notion.
Later this day, the JamCan volunteers will join a local march against AIDS. So there's a lot of talk about AIDS and sex.
Tracy, you're from Nova Scotia. Nova Scotia is a large city, right?
What?
It's a city to itself, and there are tons of teenagers there. What do you see happening around you?
I see a lot of pregnant young girls, ages 12, having sex. So,
chances are likely that they...
well, most of them, or not most of them, but a lot of them could have some sexually transmitted disease of a sort because they go out, they drink, they party, they have sex with this one and that one, and they really don't care if they have protection. So it's hard to say because, like Kevin said, I don't know the statistics. I don't know who's got AIDS and who doesn't, but I know that I can't say I'm not going to, but that I'm going to protect myself whatever means necessary.
Carlos, you have trouble?
I have trouble.
Diana, for example?
I'd like to talk about my home. It's very similar to her home. A lot of people there are pregnant and all that sort of thing. And I don't know, I find that, personally, I find it disturbing when people have children when they're not ready, because it's not good for the kid. So, what about teen pregnancy back home?
Well, in Jamaica, teen pregnancy is on a high basis. Wouldn't you say that, Kevin?
Educating the people and going into the schools and getting people aware from an early stage is vital in the fight to help, stop AIDS, because we can't be just looking for a cure. You understand? Because people are still out there going about having sex, and I think the most important thing is to protect yourself, because there are people who are not going to tell us, listen, I have AIDS.
Yeah.
Because if somebody told me that, I wouldn't want to have sex with them. So the most important thing is to protect yourself and make sure that you're protected at all times.
Yeah.
And, when all else fails, no sex is best.
A lot of people are becoming more concerned about using protection, that sort of thing, but then there's some other people that are just, they don't care.
I don't know. I think it sounds mean to say this, but I think if we didn't have a cure for AIDS, that would be okay. Because I think, okay, it sounds so mean, but let's say if we did have a cure for AIDS, I think that would still give people an excuse to go and sleep with whoever they want and do what they want, and they could infect someone with the AIDS virus and say that's okay because there's a cure.
Father Abraham, as many sons as Father Abraham,
And I am one of them, and so are you.
so let's just praise Him. Right, left, right foot, heads up, turn around. Father Abraham was many sons as Father Abraham, and I am one of them, and so are you. So let's just praise Him. Right, left.